Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining in. So today in this video we are going to talk about the Bitcoin dominance chart. We are going to talk about the altcoin season and when an actual altcoin season is going to start, and also where the price of Bitcoin in the medium short term, where the price of Bitcoin in the upcoming days could be possibly heading. We are going to talk about all of these scenarios one by one in today's video. So please, before I jump into the content, try that like button if you haven't done it yet, and for those individuals watching for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now looking at this monthly time frame, you can see guys, the Bitcoin dominance chart is still showing strength. I mean, the area where we are right now, this is a very crucial area, because if the Bitcoin dominance, the 48% gets flipped into support, then this will be triggering another impulsive movement towards 54%, and could go even higher, because if you look at the dominant chart, the Bitcoin dominant chart looks like it is forming a double bottom formation. Double bottom is considered as a bullish scenario. So if this breakout is going to happen, flipping 49% into support, then the dominance of Bitcoin could get stronger in the upcoming days, indicating the altcoin season must wait. Because if we look at this altcoin chart, this here is crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin. When should we expect the actual altcoin season to start? Because if this exact scenario is going to play out one more time, just like from the past price action, then we need to overcome the horizontal resistance line before expecting an actual all seasons to play out. If you look at the example from 2014-2015, this falling trend line was a very important line of resistance. When the altcoin market cap broke that and flipped it into support, we had a small rally, right? A small rally where the altcoin market cap got attracted towards this horizontal trend line, because this horizontal trend line was an important line of support and resistance. This is exactly where we got rejected, started showing weakness, and only at the second attempt we managed to break above it. And when we managed to break out of this horizontal trend line, we started an actual all season. So if we look at this example one more time here, from 2018 till 2019, this falling trend line was a very important line of resistance. Each and every time we got attracted towards this falling trend line, we got rejected. But when we managed to flip that into support, what happened? We got attracted towards this horizontal trend line, which previously acted as a strong line of support, and this is exactly where we got rejected. If you look at this example from 2015 as well, after breaking out of this breaking out of this falling trend line, we got attracted toward this horizontal trend line where we got rejected, and only after second attempt we finally broke above it. And here it was a very similar movement. I mean, we got rejected first time, and second time we had this black swan event, and as soon as the market cap, the altcoins market cap, broke above this horizontal trend line, we had an actual all season. So what I'm trying to pinpoint here is that in our case, we are still below the falling trend line, and this falling trend line is still acting as a resistance. So if the altcoin market cap could break the resistance from this falling trend line, then for the medium short term we could see some relief rally in the altcoin market cap. But we know in the past price action, this horizontal trend line rejected the price at first attempt. So maybe we are going to see a very similar movement like this playing out. First attempt getting rejected, and second attempt breaking above it, and only after that we are expecting an actual all seasons to start. So even for this small relief rally, what must happen here in Bitcoin dominance chart? The Bitcoin dominance must remain below 49%. Yes guys, if we do remain below this 49% here in Bitcoin dominant chart, then that could trigger some relief rally towards this horizontal trend line for altcoin before getting rejected, and only after breaking this horizontal trend line an actual all season is going to start. And now guys, beside the altcoin market cap, beside the Bitcoin dominant chart, let's also have a quick look at this Bitcoin price action, because this Bitcoin price action right now is flashing a very interesting scenario which could fool most of us. Why? Because even though this here looks very bullish, price forming an ascending CPR, these purple lines are ascending CPR. Whenever we see price forming an ascending CPR, it usually indicates the market is in an uptrend. But in our case, the price of Bitcoin is choosing a trend duration without touching any of the CPR line. So what happens in most of the cases? In most of the cases, price touches the CPR line before choosing a trend duration. So more than 90% of cases, price gets gravitated around the CPR line before it chooses a trend duration. So in our case, since this is a VCPR, price has not touched any of the CPR line, there might still be a risk like this. I mean, price showing some bullishness towards 29,000, 30,000 range, and then a free fall type of movement, price getting attracted towards the CPR line before choosing a trend duration here like this. And why I'm saying you that, because if you look at the price structure here, 4 hour time frame, you can see, guys, yesterday we talked about this one here. I showed you that in the past price action, the price has seen some weakness after getting attracted towards this horizontal trend line, because according to this reaccumulation schematic from Wyckoff, we could be in phase C. In phase C, what happens? Price slowly, right, gets gravitated here to the downside, breaks the previous low, and then finally starts breaking here like this. I mean, price getting attracted towards this phase C, the lower trend line, the support line, testing it before slowly entering the phase D and even the phase E phase, just like as shown in an example from Wyckoff, because according to this reaccumulation phase, the price of Bitcoin could be in this phase C. And in phase C, you can see we could be slowly getting attracted towards the lower trend line, right? Price testing this key line of support around 25,500 to 27,000 range, between that range before turning bullish. Because after this retracement, many might feel like the market has given up, and that will be the sign of weakness. But I've been very clear, unless the price of Bitcoin breaks below 25,000 to 25,000 range, let us not panic, because that could be just a temporary rally, just like I shown in an example, before price again starts breaking here in this manner. So that's why, guys, if we do see a pullback towards the CPR line, it would make a lot of sense, and not just only through this Wyckoff reaccumulation phase and the CPR line, but even if you look at this price structure in a bit different way. I mean, if you look at this ascending channel, you can see, guys, the price of Bitcoin did got attracted towards the upper trend line, and after getting attracted towards the upper trend line, we started showing some weakness. But now, since we are still hovering around this 28,400, 28,500 range, we have to be careful, because if you look at this price structure here, in the past price action, once we lost the support from this rising trend line, we got attracted towards the lower trend line, and here we could be forming another very similar scenario. Right now, the price is above this rising trend line, but we need to be careful, because if we do see any sort of a movement here like this, but price failing to break out of the upper trend line and also failing to hold the support from this rising trend line, then we could be seeing another retracement towards the lower trend line from this ascending channel before it chooses a trend direction. Because we know parallelly, even if this is going to happen, we just found out this could be just a temporary pullback before price again starts showing impulsiveness. Here as well, a retest from the CPR line before price again starts showing impulsiveness. So that's why no need to panic unless we break the key line of support around 25,000 range. And not just only this, guys, what I want you guys to look at here in a daily time frame using this bars pattern, I just want you guys to look at the numbers here. First, number one is when we had this impulsive movement. Number two is when we got exhausted, but at the end we still continued the uptrend. Point 3, and this point 3 was more of a rounding top formation, which is a sign of reversal. We did retrace around this point 4 before making a new higher high. So I mean, if you look at this point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5, this exact formation could be playing out here as well. I mean, this could be, this is our point 1. We had an impulsive movement, and then got exhausted before breaking it to the upside, where we formed a similar rounding top type of formation. You can see, right, this was also a rounding top type of formation, showed weakness, where we got attracted towards this 0.4 before heading to form a new higher high, just like from this previous example. So now if the price does show some impulsiveness around 29-30k, we still need to be careful, because after 0.5 what has unfollowed a retracement. Yes guys, after 0.5 we have seen a retracement. So that's why if this exact formation is going to play out, then the ascending channel scenario will play out perfectly. Even this Y-curve scenario will play out perfectly, which is showing a potential reversal towards this lower trend line, and even the CPR. So you can see guys, many things are pointing us, even after some impulsive movement, there could be one last retracement before price again starts showing bullishness. And now let me also show you guys with another interesting example. So this chart here in a 4-hour time frame was shared in our Telegram group from one of our admins. So big shout out to him, because his idea and my idea was lining up perfectly. So if you look at this past price action, when the price of Bitcoin is forming this rising wedge, the RSI here in a 4-hour time frame was clearly flashing a bearish divergence. And once we lost the support from this rising wedge, what happened with price action? It got gravitated towards the key line of support, because this exact line was previously acting as a resistance. This is exactly where we got gravitated before started this new impulsive movement. And now if we look at the current Bitcoin price action, we are forming a rising wedge type of formation, and RSI is also flashing divergence. Yes guys, this here is a bearish divergence. So if we do see any sort of impulsiveness, you can see that would be the final move towards 29-30,000 before getting rejected and before continuing this downtrend. And if this downtrend is going to play out, then the previous temporary raise line will be looked as the upcoming target for Bitcoin, and that will be in between 25,000 to 27,000 range. So that's why guys, you can see things are lining up perfectly, which is indicating in the medium short term there might be some impulsive movement, but please be careful, because after that the price could be starting a reversal towards 25,000-27,000 range, between that range, before finding support before continuing this uptrend. And we know if that is going to happen, then a very similar scenario could be playing out, just like I shown you in an example. An impulsive movement around 30,000, 29,000, right, would be looked as a fake out, just like here, and then break to the downside, fake break to the downside, right, slowly start consolidating, and then again continuing this uptrend. And if this scenario is going to play out, then you can see guys, this Y-curve reaccumulation will also play out perfectly, which is indicating a potential reversal towards this lower trend line phase C, and then slowly starting this uptrend. And beside this example, even the broadening top example will play out perfectly, because right now if we do see any sort of a shakeout, if we do see any sort of a weakness, we know this exact trend line is going to be acting as a strong line of support around 27,000 range. So any sort of a retracement, any sort of a weakness in the medium short term, this upper trend line from this broadening top, the CPR line, the top CPR line around 27,000 is going to be acting as a very, very strong line of support for Bitcoin. And in a bigger frame, we know as long as we remain over 25,500, 25,000 range, we are still looking this as a ideal buy for investor from Stan Weinstein, which is indicating the upcoming days could be bullish once volume starts kicking in, because the volume confirmation has not happened yet. I mean, we need more volume for an actual breakout, just like I shown in the example. But in general, as long as we remain above this 30-week exponential moving average or 30-week moving average, we are in a good place. So in that case, you can see 25,000 remaining above that line means this ideal buy for investor from Stan Weinstein could also be playing out for the bigger time frame for Bitcoin. So these are some of the quick updates that I wanted to share with you in today's video. If you enjoyed my work, then please guys, hit that like button, and for those individuals watching for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.